It's not that easy to run a company by yourself, let alone a wholesaling company in real estate in one of the most competitive real estate markets. I have a successful real estate wholesaling business. So I decided, why don't I give you the blueprint of how my day-to-day operations go. Welcome back, guys, to the channel. We're gonna hop right into it today. We're gonna talk about different softwares that I use. I made this kind of video about a year ago. A lot of things have changed since then. I've also obviously have a lot more employees working for me now. So there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes, and I wanted to talk about it today. All right, guys, so I thought about what's the best way to do this. And in my opinion, the best way to do this is to start for who does what in my company. So we're gonna start with VAs. So we're gonna start with actually my cold calling VAs. My cold call VAs, at the moment I have 3 cold calling VAs. That's all they do, full-time job, cold calling, but they do a little bit more than just cold call. My VAs use ready mode for cold calling. I've talked about cold calling before in a previous video, and I've talked about how some cold calling tools that I've used before, and I've used Mojo and I've used Cold Tools, which is ready mode, is ZenCall. So this is my 3rd cold calling software, and I absolutely love it. It's absolutely great in the way that it's very easy to manage. It has the most amount of features that you need. I know that it's not like most user-friendly. I think out of 3 that I used, Mojo was the most user-friendly one. But it's very, very good if you know how to use it, if you get to know how to use it. And their support is really good. So like when you have a question, you can just reach out to them and they will be more than happy to help you in very fast manner. But yeah, so what they do is that I'm gonna give you how it looks. So this is the amount of campaigns we have running. Different counties, different type of properties, mobile homes, multifamily homes, land. Obviously, you know, I'm the land guy. Right now, you can actually see we have 47,000 properties that we're running. We've called 35,000 of them, with 13,000 have not been called yet. A lot of times I rerun the list, so it's not a big deal. We'll run out of 50,000 properties, which happens because ready mode actually gives you 12 lines to dial per VA, so sometimes that's what we do. I mean, I do 8 to 10 sometimes, but 12 actually seems to work as well. I think if you guys want to use ready mode, and if you're interested in signing up, or if you've been thinking about a dialer, let me know, because I can actually refer you to them. I don't have a link or anything like that, but they told me if I refer people to them, they can give you the same rate they gave me, which is a very good rate if you sign up for 3 months ahead. And that's what I did. It was a very big commitment to me at the time. I thought maybe I'm not gonna like it. I loved it, and I actually just re-signed for another 3 months, and that's big for me because a lot of times after I use something for a while, I decide to change it. But with this platform, I have no reason to change it, and I've stuck with it. But less about the platform, more about the blueprint, right? So VAs, they cold call. After they cold call, they input in their information into Podio. Podio, talked about a lot. I know a lot of people talk about Podio. Absolutely great platform. With Podio, like for example, you can just see 5 minutes ago, one of my VAs have put in a land in Ocala, Florida. So what he's going to do is that he puts the information, and we're gonna even open it up so you guys can see. So they have all the information, how many lots they have, what they want, all that stuff. So they put in the information, all the questions that I tell them to ask. They put in the information. After that, my manager VA is gonna take over, but we're gonna get to her in a second. We're still talking about our cold calling VAs. So that's what they do. Then after my manager VA puts in the offer, they are responsible working on this lead until we either get the offer accepted, until we get the price from the seller, or until it's a dead deal. Until whatever the outcome is gonna be, my original VA that called that lead and got the information is responsible for it. And that's how I've created the structure of my company, because what they do is that they actually get commissions for every deal that closes that they find. So they're very motivated to make sure their leads don't fall through, you know, and it's working out and everything like that. So that's very, very important for them. Obviously, it's important for me and it's important for the company as overall, because, you know, the more revenue for the company, the more we can grow, the more things we can do. But this is a very good way to do it, in my opinion, because that motivates them to work on the leads, don't screw around, don't lose the leads, etc. That's kind of what my VAs do. They cold call leads, then follow up with them until there's certain kind of result with that property. And I follow up with people sometimes 6-7 months. Actually, last month we closed on the property that I've made 14,000 for. Well, we as a company made 14,000, and then we've been following up with that lead for 7-8 months. So, you know, something like that, it's very important to have a structure. That's why it's very important to be in Podio and have the exactly one, when they're following up, like are they following up every single day, every 2 days? Just a heads up, my VAs follow up every 2 days. So we do 3 follow-ups a week with someone that we either want to make an offer to, or we want to put them on the contract and want to get their email, whatever it is. So that's what my cold calling VAs do. Now let's talk about my manager VA. So as some of you guys may know, if you followed me, I've actually promoted one of my cold calling VAs to be a manager slash like HR VA, I guess, to an extent. So she does a lot. She obviously her rate is more, she gets paid more, and etc. But what she does is that, so when a VA puts the information of a lead into Podium, she's responsible to comping and running the comparables for that lead. That's a big thing for me because that takes a lot of time, and that's, you want to stay on top of that. It took me months to train her how to do it, and now finally she's much better at it. I mean, if you think about it, when you started off, first couple months it was very hard to run comparables on the property, so it's hard to determine. But now she gets a handle of it. She finally understands a little bit more how it works. So, but if she still needs help, she can still reach out to me over WhatsApp or whatever, and I can help her out with certain properties. Because a lot of times, especially when we work on land, it's very case-to-case basis. Sometimes a property needs a much more deeper look than just overall look onto overall. There's no general rule that could apply to that property. A lot of times it's very specific. I'll give you guys an example. I just have a property on the contract right now that I'm not sure what I'm going to do, because it's a property, it's a land in between duplexes and fourplexes, so it's a multi-family street, but the county recently has changed the rule that it's actually only allows single family homes to be built on there. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. I don't know what's the way to go around it. If we can just have a hearing with the county. It's a whole process, but I guess that just kind of gives you an idea that every land is different. I know every house is different, but with land, sometimes there's more underlying issues that go there. But yes, if we go back to the manager VA, she does comparables. She makes sure that in Podio, I may even show you. So in Podio, she makes sure we're on top of the leads. If something that the VA marked that I need to see, she tells me, she tags me in the lead, or sometimes that, there's an issue or something like that, she addresses it. She makes sure that we follow up with the leads on the right time. She kind of manages my VAs in the way that she makes sure we stay on top of the leads, because obviously you still need to manage them. I mean, yes, they are motivated to get commission, but it's still, we're all people, we all miss stuff, we're all things like that happen. So she does really good on that. So she manages that. And then whenever she has free time, which is not forced because I know she has a lot of other stuff going on, she actually uses Smarter Contact, which, as you can see right now, we are in the process of texting. Smarter Contact to text. Right now we have 2 campaigns running. She pauses them when she doesn't have the time, but you can restart it back right away. She runs texting campaigns, and when she runs texting campaigns, it's actually really interesting because that gives her the potential to get something on the contract, which work a lead, and to get commission on top of her regular rate, which is already better than what she was getting as a regular VA. So that gives her more motivation to grow as well. So it's absolutely great. I really like how I have this set up. Like I said, texting isn't her main priority, but the moment when she's done with everything else, she gets to hop onto this and see if she can make more deals work. And we've been getting a good amount of leads from here. I think we're closing on one actually tomorrow that she got from text, which is going to be a very good property, the biggest property this year so far. Fingers crossed we're going to be able to close on it. I'll talk about it a little more in my next 0 to 100 video when I talk about my journey from the start. So yes, she does texting, Podio, follow-ups. She does company, so she does a lot. She also tells me if there's any issues with other VAs, and we kind of address it situation case-to-case basis. She kind of suggests like if we can improve our system within the company sometimes, all that stuff. So that's very important. So she uses Podio. She uses PropStream to run comparables. That's another software that she uses. Obviously, PropStream, I can talk about it enough, I guess, in every single video that I make about wholesaling. PropStream is absolutely fantastic at running comparables. It's hard to run comparables, but it's very easy. PropStream make it super easy. So it was very easy to teach her to use PropStream. She has her own account now. Like, I added her as a user to my account so she can always sign into PropStream and run comparables. So that's very great. I love that, absolutely. Now we talked about the cold calling VAs, we talked about my manager VAs. So there's one more person to talk about, and that's me. What do I do in the company? Which obviously I do a lot, but we can talk a little bit more about every single thing that I do. I can't talk about every single thing that I do because I feel like that would be a long video, but let's talk about the general things that I do. Obviously, I pull lists. And this is not just like you pull a list and you're done. I constantly update the old list because you never know, some things can change, so I update the old list. I constantly look for new areas that would work for us, new type of properties that work for us. Right now, for example, I'm thinking about maybe even getting into commercial real estate. That's just something that I'm thinking about right now and trying to figure out how I can do it. I'm thinking about a couple other ideas that I have. So I'm constantly working on progress in my business and trying to figure out how we can take this business to the next level. So that's what I do. PropStream is really good, obviously, to pull the list. I always do that here. Podio I use obviously because when I may want to make an offer, because a lot of times after the original VA got a seller, they made negotiations with the seller and there's certain price, right? After my manager comped and all that stuff. Then I step in and I say, okay, that price would work. And I go ahead and prepare the contract, send it over DocuSign, contact the seller, and I take it over from that point. I take over acquisitions from that point on, and then obviously I do dispositions when we get it on the contract and I want to find a seller, I want to find a buyer for it. I do all those things. So the moment the offer either gets accepted or we get close enough or, you know, or anything like that, I take it over and I take it from that point all the way up to closing. I use Smarter Contact for skip tracing sometimes. I sometimes hop in on text when there is, for example, there's a very difficult lead that had a question that's very difficult. For example, this one today, I don't remember what was her name, but she was saying that the property people were willing to pay only like $4,000 for. She said the real estate agent told her the property is worth 30 grand. It's a vacant lot in Ocala. The value of the lots there are very low. But she was like, oh, my realtor told me it's 30 grand. I was like, well, your realtor either lied to you or they didn't do their job. Ask them to send comparables to you to show you that it is worth 30 grand, because I sent her a couple of parcel IDs that have sold for $4,000 in that area. And I was like, that's what it is sold for. I'm sorry to tell you. I mean, I know if like, if you were told that your property is worth 30,000 or 4,000, who would you trust? Obviously, you would want to trust the $30,000 person. And unfortunately, real estate agents do that. I mean, same as wholesalers tell the sellers that the property is worth less than it actually is. The real estate agents work the opposite way, and they inflate the prices more than it actually is. So it's very hard in a lot of times, especially if somebody already talked to a real estate agent, you know, but then they go list it for $30,000. That property is going to be on the market for years before anyone even touches it. And I doubt anyone will for even close to that price. In my opinion, you may get a sucker that would pay $10,000 for that land, but they wouldn't know what they were doing. That's just my opinion. Then I use Constant Contact to send marketing campaigns. You know, I've actually recently started using Constant Contact to give away a lot of PDFs. If you want a free script for texting, if you want a free script for cold calling, you want a free script to talk to builders, you want a free script for mobile home, vacant land, whatever you need, a lot of those things I have. So if you guys are very interested, actually, if you want any of those scripts, leave them in the comments down below. I will leave you a link for you to download those scripts for free. So I've been using Constant Contact to spread that recently as well. The cool part is all the softwares that I'm talking about today, I have a link that I can give to you guys to get a certain kind of discount. With Constant Contact, you get 30% discount, you get a free sign-up fee, and etc. So it's actually really good, and they walk you through it. I have 5-6 people that already signed up to Constant Contact through me that enjoy it, and that they've told me they really like the system more than MailChimp and any other marketing platform. It's actually pretty affordable as well, and they have really good training and etc. So I love Constant Contact. Same thing with Smarter Contact. Smarter Contact, if you guys want to sign up for it, I've made a video talking about different texting platforms recently, and Smarter Contact is my choice. And actually, after I chose them, I reached out to them and I said, hey, could you potentially make me an affiliate? And they actually have an affiliate program in the platform, so it's cool if you guys want to check it out. When you sign up with Smarter Contact using my link, let me know and we'll give you a $30 credit on your software. We can skip all that. So if we're talking about what other things that I do, besides the fact that I constantly try to evolve the business, find new things, etc., sell properties, take over the acquisitions at a certain point, I also constantly look how to improve my business, not only in the way that what kind of properties do we want to work in, but also I look at what skip tracing platforms we should use. Should we use different texting platforms? Should we use a different calling platform? Prop stream, should we replace prop stream? Should we do something else? I constantly think about those things because I'm not married to any of these platforms. These platforms work for me now because they work for me now. I'm not I'm not sponsored by any of them. Yes, I have an affiliate with them, but I wouldn't be promoting anything I don't believe in myself and I don't use myself. And I use all of these platforms. So recently I have started using Skip Matrix for skip tracing. I used to use Smarter Contact and Lead Sherpa, and I still use those two. Smarter Contact is really good because they can give you information about properties that don't have an address, and that can happen sometimes with land. So I really like Smarter Contact for that, and in general their data is actually really solid. So is Lead Sherpa, but Skip Matrix has really good deals when you have a lot of properties. Right now I actually just ran a 15,000 property list. It actually was 3 different counties, and I ran 15,000 properties with them, and they gave me 13 cents per trace, which I think I ended up paying about $2,000, maybe a little more for it. So I'm very excited to test a Skip Matrix. I didn't consider Skip Matrix before I made a video. I don't know if you guys saw the last video I've made about how comparing different skip tracing services, and I was genuinely surprised how good Skip Matrix results were. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try it out and see how it is. And so far, I liked what the results were during the video. So this is my big test for Skip Matrix, $2,000. It's a big investment for me into just skip tracing. So I'm gonna run it, see how it goes, and then maybe I'll make a separate video talking about Skip Matrix and just explain to you guys how maybe good or bad this platform is. I will not know until it's done. But right now I absolutely love it. They sent me the information today. I uploaded it into ready mode, which is Zen call, and we hopefully should be cold calling those properties within the next week or two. We are going to be cold calling, but we're not going to be done with the list initially in a couple weeks. So that's pretty much about it when it comes to the company blueprint and who does what softwares I use and all that stuff. If you guys have any other questions on day-to-day operations, leave them in the comments down below. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Like the video as I've mentioned before. That really does help the algorithm, and it helps me understand that you guys like the content you are seeing. And I'll see you guys next time. And as always, peace.